Blockbusters. You are listening to the Triple B Podcast. Let's fucking go.
Welcome back to the Triple B Podcast, Bourbon Belts and Blockbusters. I'm good old TJ, Tim Johnson.
I am Ryan.
And this is the show where we sip on some bourbon and or cocktails. We talk about some wrestling, boy do we, and we talk about them blockbusters.
Darn tootin'.
And we got a packed show for you today.
We sure does.
Let's get to it. Ryan, what is the cocktail of the week?
Yeah, so like we said, I said it on the socials video that we're posting for the cocktail as well. But we had the really nice bourbon last week with the McFarland Reserve, the MR16, and it was just so good. We both gave it over a 10. It's the number one bourbon that we've had on our show now. It just didn't seem right to put this into like a full actual cocktail with like mixers, and it just seemed fucking wrong. And
Agreed.
It was going to hurt us both to do that. So what we decided to do was do the old classic whiskey water. Mm-hmm. So we got 2 ounces of our bourbon. We got a 1 ounce of water. And then we just, for, class sake, we threw a nice lemon twist in there, express the oils, get that kind of mixed in a little bit. But yeah, that's the cocktail that we decided to roll with this week.
Nice and simple.
Nice and simple. Absolutely.
But not taking away from the bourbon.
Abso-spankin'-lutely. Let's get to this bad boy.
Get to it.
Cheers. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's real good.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm going to give it a 9.5 just because it is just a little bit watered. It's not that full flavor.
Yeah, that's
fair. But it's very close to that original feeling I got last week. So
yeah,
I'm going 9.5 on that. And that's not a bad score. That's a great score.
Yeah, that's a fantastic score. Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna give it a 10.
Nice.
I agree. Like it doesn't pop you in the face as much as it did last week in a good way. But I'm okay with that at the same time because it is a cocktail, right?
That's true.
Kind of what you kind of expect that. You expect there to be a cut in the bourbon, and obviously we mixed it with water, so you're expecting it to get a little watered down there. I think the flavor of the bourbon's still there. Mm-hmm. It's as smooth as it was last week. Oh yeah, it makes it even smoother to drink. Right,
it's gonna be way easier.
And I do think that lemon twist actually added a little touch of something.
I do get the
even if it's just more of the flavor. Aroma of you kind of smell it as it's on the nose instead of necessarily on the tongue, but it still adds an element to the drink that I really like. So yeah, I could order. Never thought I would, but I could definitely see myself ordering a whiskey water. Yeah. It's not bad at all.
I like it.
Hell yeah. It'll be a good one to sip on.
Hell yeah.
We are at Trip B Pod on X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We are the Triple B Podcast, Bourbon Belts and Blockbusters on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. And we also have our Gmail. It's triplebpod619@gmail.com. If you want to hit us up on anything, we've been interactive with people on TikTok comments and Instagram, stuff like that. Questions, suggestions, anything on the bourbon, wrestling, or Blockbusters segments of it, hit us up, send it to us, and we would love to get social.
Let's get social. Social. I want to get social. Social. It is fact check time, and it is, of course, my turn. So let's get right into it. It actually was a pretty clean week.
We finally did a clean one for Timmy.
I mean, we got some things, but this was more me kind of nitpicking things for
you
it.
Son of a.
So what is a finger pour? We talked about. You're like Andre, the giant finger pour, and I actually didn't really know what a finger pour was. I'm sure you do, but just for clarification, it's the width of a bartender's finger, and it's roughly around an ounce of whatever you're pouring. And so we were definitely pouring Andre the Giant finger pours.
Yes. Absolutely.
You brought up tonal vibes, and you're like, oh, is that the same thing? I forget what it was in reference to, but you said
was that to
tone and
the
vibes.
Duster and Woman of the Hour?
Yeah, I think so.
About?
And tone refers more to the words spoken or written, and vibes is the overall feeling or energy of place or the person or situation.
Okay,
so there is a
vibes,
difference.
There's a
so when you
difference,
say tonal vibes, you're comparing two things to
putting two things together. Yeah.
So it does fit, and so it was there. They are different, and it fits together.
Cool.
Worlds Collide. We asked what SmackDown versus Raw it was on. It was on the original SmackDown versus Raw.
Okay.
I thought it was on another one as well.
That's what I thought. I'm pretty sure that isn't that the one that I pointed to originally?
No, you said SmackDown Shut Your Mouth or...
Oh,
yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Right. I was pointing to Here Comes the Pain or Shut Your Mouth.
Yeah.
That's right.
What was the first SmackDown versus Raw where you can use like downloaded music for your created wrestlers? That was SVR 08.
Okay.
Theme songs we discussed. So this was more clear. We got hit with some copyright things, so I had to cut some parts out, and we played some songs, and we did talk about it, but it wasn't very clear. So theme songs we talked about for each other was Duality, Slipknot, and I brought up Dragula, Rob Zombie. He brought up Worlds Collide, Power Man 5000, and This Fire Burns, Killswitch Engage, and Dig by Mudvayne. Those were like the main ones we were playing the audio for, and just wanted to make clarification on that. May 23rd is the Friday leading into Memorial Day weekend. You brought that, you thought it was Memorial Day weekend. It was in regards to a release date of a movie. Don't remember which one it was, but regardless.
Yep.
Spider-Verse delays was due to, so there's that long delay between Beyond the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, and it was because of the writer strike going on, and then it's a very complex animation process, and so they're just making sure they do their due diligence to create this movie right. Val Kilmer's death was due to pneumonia. We thought he lost the battle to throat cancer.
Oh, it was pneumonia.
It was pneumonia that he died from.
Wonder if...
And then Wicked did win 2 awards. We didn't talk about what they were, but it was for Best Production and Best Costume.
Okay.
And that was the fact checked.
All right.
Easy peasy.
Easy
lemon
peasy.
squeezy.
Easy breezy, beautiful cover girl.
Which brings us to our wellness journey number 18.
Yeah, man.
8 months in. How you doing, Ryan?
Doing pretty good, dude. All around. We'll just go into some successes and challenges things. Got some challenges first. I'll start with the negatives.
Okay.
Eating choices over these last couple of weeks for myself have not been ideal. I've been on a slight beef jerky and ice cream kick for the last couple weeks.
The weather's getting warmer.
I know, I really need to cut it out. But as I literally stopped at Blue Max on my way down here today. Regardless. But that being said, that's really the only actual challenges I've had over these last 2 weeks now. Was really just that. And it's not terrible. It's nothing crazy. It's just like we saw a couple new flavors of ice cream that we hadn't had before, so we wanted to try them. And then we were like, well, let's just, because we have the Ninja Creamy ice cream maker thing, it was like, let's just make our own, and we can like then dictate what it is and what's going into it. Mm-hmm. But then that turned into like I was eating it every day type of thing, right? Where it's like, yeah, it's a great idea when you're doing it every now and then and you're making healthier choices in that regard. But when you're then eating it every single day, it still adds up.
Yeah.
Right. And so it was like, son of a bitch. And then like Wednesday we went over to my mom's because my mom's dog, who was originally my dog, Licorice, has cancer, and she's she's gonna pass away in the next couple months. So I went over to see her because I don't know if I was gonna get back over there again, and got a little emotional when we were getting ready to leave, just because like I was fine the whole time, and then it was just kind of like as I was getting ready to walk out, I was like, that's a weird feeling to just know like this is the last time I'm going to see that dog, you know? And so as we were like starting to drive, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I want a milkshake.
No.
I was like, I'm sad. I want a damn milkshake. So we went down to what used to be McCain's, which is now like the Red Arrow or something.
Okay.
But it's still like a drive-through burger place, still have milkshakes.
Yeah.
And I got myself a Fluffer Nutter milkshake.
There you go.
Which is fantastic. And then we'll talk more about this, but we were at SmackDown last night, and you know I can't help myself. We were at the zoo on... No, we went to my mom's Thursday. We were at the zoo on Wednesday, and I got Dippin' Dots.
I knew the Dippin' Dots were coming into play.
And then we were at SmackDown last night, and I got a soft serve swirl.
There you go.
And had to eat it from both ends because the tip of the cone broke off immediately. Like I was like sat down and I like licked the cone, and then that broke, and it was like, oh shit. So I had to absolutely demolish a waffle cone before it melted and got all over the place, which I did a good job of.
Yes, you
But
did.
anyways, that's been my ice cream situation, and so I just got to cut that out. But outside of that, successes, I worked out 7 straight days this week.
Hell yeah.
I've been on a good little trend of alternating between like run one day, go to the gym one day, run one day, go to the gym one day, and just kind of kept that going. And also in addition, I'm also like been doing a good job of making sure I'm getting at least my 10,000 steps when I'm on spring break. When I'm working, because I'm on my feet all day, I shoot for 15,000. But I'm still just making sure I'm getting in at least my 10 while I'm on break. And yeah, across the last 7 days, I ran a total of 5 times.
Nice.
I ran, like actually went on a run Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and this morning. And then yesterday morning, after I went to the gym, I wasn't planning to run, but we went on a walk and with one of our dogs, and we started it, and we got about a half mile into the walk, and he was starting to freak out. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to jog him back home, get our other dog that does really good on the leash, and I'll catch back up to you. And so Lindsay and Lainey just kept going. And so I jogged the half mile back to the house, and then it was about 3/4 of a mile that I ran to catch back up to him. So I ended up running like another 1.25 miles yesterday morning.
Nice.
So that being said, I ran a 5K last Sunday. I ran a 5K on Tuesday. I ran 2.5 Thursday, 1.25 yesterday morning, and then a 5K this morning. In total, it was 13 miles.
Hell yeah, man.
So, yeah, it's a little over 13, but yeah, across 5 total days. So I was like, holy shit, dude, that's pretty fucking solid. So
Good on you.
yeah. Weigh in, I'll just go and then you can jump into yours. Kind of had been doing this within like a pound to a pound and a half over the last 2 weeks. And had I made some better dietary choices, I probably would have dropped.
Yeah.
But I'm like 0.4 of a pound, like less than half a pound up from where I was on the last weigh-in. So I'm like, I'm fucking good with it. I weighed in at 217 on the dot this morning. So
Yeah.
I was just like, fuck it. I'm okay with that. If I can work out, feel good the way I'm doing, and also go on a little bit of a binge of making some poor choices in my eating than I usually do, and that's the result, I'm fucking cool with it.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Fucking A.
And it's just spring break.
Yeah,
Like, come on,
exactly.
live a
So,
little.
Yeah, for sure. So,
Yeah.
yeah, dude. What about you?
All right, like you, I'm going to start with the challenges. I, too, have been making some poor food decisions. It was my birthday last weekend. Got to spend some time with Haley for once, and so it was just like we were just enjoying each other's company and didn't want to like necessarily cook at home, and so there was some poor food choices. But other than that, not really any challenges. I am dealing with a little back pain right now, and just trying to work my navigate through that where I'm not pushing too hard and making that worse. And then going over to the successes, again, just staying consistent with the gym. I got 5 workouts in this week, 4 workouts last week, so 9 total. But been starting to run. You kind of motivated me to start running more, so been running on the treadmill at the gym, and then yesterday did a 5K myself, and then this morning almost did another 3 miles. So felt good to get out there and start running, especially like on outside versus in a gym. If it's
running on a treadmill's so hard for me.
Yeah, it's
just
a
so
weird.
boring.
It is boring.
So
like
boring.
I can't watch anything because then like if I'm like watching something on my phone, I get like into it, and then that's where I'm gonna trip or something.
I know, that's the worst.
And then
you have to focus on your running while you're on the treadmill, which makes it fucking way worse to run.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want to do when you're on a run is focus on your running.
The running.
Yeah. So it completely takes away your ability to get into like a runner's high type of this, like where you're just fucking cruising and chilling, right?
Sometimes like my playlist will get into a zone and I start hitting it, but then it just quickly goes back to the overthinking, essentially.
Well, yeah, 'cause when you fall into that, and then all of a sudden your foot hits just the edge, and you're like, oh, I almost died right there. I gotta focus. I gotta actually pay attention.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it's been nice getting outside and doing it, especially with the weather being a little nicer this week.
Yep. And this next week looks good too, weather-wise.
Yeah. So been working on the cardio game for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Going over to my weight loss, I lost half a pound over the last 2 weeks, so negative 21.3 overall. I'm at 241.6, so not a huge loss, but it is a loss.
Hell yeah, dude.
Had 2 people compliment and say, it looks like you've lost weight, that's a plus right there. It's
That's
just
always
when someone notices, and
I've
that felt good. Over this last 2 weeks
I had
2 people noticed, and I was like, hell yeah.
The week before spring break, we were in the gym. I was helping one of my buddies during lunch set up the volleyball post for his next class. And there were a couple girls that I had as freshmen the year before that were in the gym just kind of like sitting down, hanging out because it was during lunch. And I'm like getting the polls up. I'm like, hey guys, how you doing? They're like, hey, good. And one of them's like, Mr. Smart, have you lost weight? I was like, I've lost about 40 pounds since you had me in class. They were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I've turned myself around a little bit.
That's awesome.
And I mean, I posted the fucking before and after, like from me in December of 2023 to me now. So what I think it was 15 months or whatever it was. And it's like drastic.
It's a big change.
Drastic
for
difference.
sure.
And it's funny because it's like when you're in that moment of being heavier, you don't realize the way you look like that, right?
Yeah.
And like Lindsay was like, in that, like when we were in that, she's like, I didn't think you looked like that, you know? And so it really is crazy to like look at it then and now. And I'm like, I looked so fucking terrible. And like, I just looked fucking puffy and just like grossly bloated and everything. And I'm just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And because when I gain weight, I carry a lot of it in my face.
Yeah.
Right. I carry a lot of weight in my face and belly and, you know, and my fucking arms. Like my arms are like twice the size that they are now in that picture. It looks like, you know, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, his arms are fucking jacked. It was like, no, my arms looked like fucking overstuffed chubs of beef. It was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So
good on us, man.
dude.
It's feeling good.
We're doing it.
We've been really consistent this year, and it's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Cheers to that.
Hell yeah. If you, it's totally not, I mean, it's not random. It's in the same vein. Because I'm getting back into running. You're getting back into running. I just had the idea while we were talking about this. Have you ever thought about the Tough Mudder before?
I haven't thought of the Tough Mudder. I've been wanting, like, since we started running, I was like, oh, it'd be fun to do like a 5K or like an actual 5K or 10K event with you. And but I've never given a thought to the Tough Mudder because That's tough, right?
I mean, yeah, but it's also not. Well, I mean, like, I did it once. Me and my buddy Matt did it, and we did the 5K. And like when we finished it, it was like, oh shit, we should have done the 10K.
Oh, okay.
Right, like when we were like, realizing that, because there are moments throughout it where you're like waiting in a line to do this specific event or whatever. Because what it is you're not just running the whole time, right?
Oh,
you're
okay.
like you're running, and then you're like army crawling through fucking mud under barbed wire, and then you're like dropping down in this big old mud trench, and then you have to go across, and you're running through mud, and they have to climb out the other side, or they have like this muddy wet half pipe thing that you got to like run up and grab on. Like people are like sitting at the top, like people that are just running the race are like sitting at the top, and they're like helping people, and then you kind of like tag in and tag out, like, you know, kind of like a pay it forward type thing. And there's a lot of different events of stuff like that.
Yeah. How do you even train for something like? Do you like train doing army crawls, or do you just focus on the running part?
That's what we did. Was and that was when I started running. When I was telling you about it yesterday, when I was down at Adams in Ording, right? And I was just running a little bit at a time, and like I definitely could not just run 3.1 miles straight at that point. But we did that, and because it's like you run a little bit and then you stop and you're doing an event, and then you just start jogging again.
Gotcha.
And like we weren't racing, you know, like we just wanted to do it. Like I'm not trying to make a time or anything specific. Like we just wanted to do it. And the events part of it, like some of them are tough for sure, but like it was fun. It was just a fun experience and a cool thing. Something to look into, or like you said, an actual 5K. Like I've never actually ran an actual 5K before.
I've done a 5K and I've done a 10K, and I've always wanted to do like a Tough Mudder, like back when I was running more, and so I'd be open to it. So
we should look into it.
Yeah,
definitely look into it. And I know that my school puts on. It's called the Bear Run. It's a 5K, usually around like Father's Day weekend. We were going to do it last year, but we went camping.
Gotcha.
So it just kind of depends on what we have going on but if we're around for that and you're down and you want to sign up for it too, we could do that one also. I mean, at this point, like us running a 5K race like that is nothing. Yeah. Because like we've been running it at like a fast pace for ourselves. Right? Where like in a thing like that, and like, unless you're actually racing, like trying to win or something, which is I'm not about that. Yeah. Then it's just like, you just fucking set a cruise pace and you just go, you know, and it's like to do something like that. Essentially what I've heard and read people say is like, if you can run this far, you can do this type of thing. And it's usually like, if you can run 2 miles, you can do a 5K. Yeah. You know, or like if you can run 6 miles, or like if you can run 5 miles, you can run a 10K or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that type of idea where it's just like, because like if you're like pushing yourself to run those things and then you go and do like the race and you just go into like a cruise control, you can just glide through it type of idea. So, but anyways, something that I think it would be fun and something to give us a little something extra to just kind of like be like, oh yeah, we're doing this more, even more than just for our own wellness, but we actually like have like a thing that we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this whenever, and so we want to be prepared for that. Yeah, gives us just extra motivation to keep it going.
I like it.
So
let's do it. That brings us over to belts. Ryan, what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Jay motherfucking Uso.
Me too.
I think this segment was not necessarily exactly what we had talked about, like in hopes that we would get.
Agreed.
But I think it was perfect. I think it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't necessarily like we didn't get like the action that I think we had kind of thought. We did get the stoic Jay.
Yeah.
Even with his music hitting and everyone's going hard on it, he just walked straight to the ring through the crowd, which I liked.
I did not.
You didn't like it?
That took me out of it, but I did like that he wasn't ying. I also didn't like that Michael Cole and Pat were like egging on the eating. Like, you could tell Jay's not in the mood, and they're like having fun with the eating.
I agree with that, but I thought it was more like kind of leaning into the whole idea of what is happening with Jay coming from where he always does with his music hitting and him ignoring it.
Yeah, I will say,
you know what I mean?
That's got to be such a challenge to go through the crowd.
Yeah.
Everyone's eating around
Everyone's
you, and
doing
you
your whole
just
thing,
keeping
and it
straight
was just,
face.
Exactly. And
yeah,
so I
do
thought
agree
that
with
actually,
that.
like, added more to just the idea of like, oh, he's not fucking around. Like, he is here. He means business type of thing.
Yeah.
And then his ability to then shut the crowd the fuck up. Because they were not having that. Like, they were
trying to eat throughout the whole promo.
But he got them to, like, Jay alone got them and Michael Cole and fucking McAfee to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And then listen for the rest of it. Like, they weren't eating anymore, you know, like within the first couple minutes, it was kind of like, fuck, this could go bad. But Jay was able, and I think that was a real testament to his character's power and his ability on the mic to be able to navigate the crowd like that and be able to control the crowd like that without saying, hey, shut the fuck up and let me talk.
Yeah.
You know, he was able to do it very methodically.
Yeah.
Staying in character, staying in the moment, and just doing, and it was just his emotion that he had in it is what set that up for that to be able to happen. And I thought that this whole thing, I thought it was great. I had chills throughout a good portion of this because he came at it completely different than how I would have expected it to be.
Agreed.
And completely different from how we've ever gotten a storyline like this before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he did the I'm gonna fuck you up with words, which is not a typical go-to of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, especially after a type of incident that took place last week with his getting his brother beat down in front of him. But he you know, evoked the emotions. He totally just like you saw a change in Jey Uso through just the verbal exchange. And I don't know, I thought this was perfectly done and a perfect stepping stone towards next weekend.
I agree. I thought the promo started off a little bit slow, but it kind of fed into like his emotion at the time. Like, he's angry, he's sad, and all that, which I really liked. I really liked just Gunther's expressions throughout this whole thing. Like, we've seen him be scared of Damian Priest. We've seen him be a dominant asshole. Like, so just all the faces Gunther goes through, it's awesome. But just, I had chills throughout the promo. This is by far one of my favorite promos of Jay's, and just I'm gonna do this for me. I'm gonna do this for Jimmy. I'm gonna do this for my whole damn family. And I'm coming getting that World Heavyweight Championship was just the icing on the cake at the end of that. I just like chills. I watched it like probably 6 more times, like rewound and watched it again and again and again. That's just a test to itself. Just rewatchability, and we've talked about promos like that, and that's one that I could picture myself going back and watching again. So, back-to-back weeks, this feud is now where we were tired of the beatdowns, and now I'm in the thick of things. I'm like, hell yeah, there's emotion, there was trauma, we got a feud now.
And it really leaves you curious about what is going to take place this coming Monday, being the go-home show to Raw.
Yeah.
Because, you can assume at least there's not going to be a ton of action from these guys or these superstars that are in these bigger matches for this show, right? Again, knowing that it is the last show before WrestleMania, you don't want to overly risk anything you don't have to, right?
Yeah.
But you can also assume that there's going to be another layer or a final chapter, I guess you could call it, before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Between these two.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious because I feel like last week's episode or last week's promo almost would have been the perfect
This
go
Monday,
home,
yeah.
home show promo. So now it does kind of leave it up in the air. So like, what are they going to do to get us just on the edge of our seat that much more to get us through the next 5 days?
Yeah. I think
So
I like, this is not a talking point, but I think this last week of wrestling did not do a good setup to the go home week before WrestleMania. Like, there was bits and parts like this.
I think Raw
promo,
did fine.
It did all right. Like,
SmackDown did not.
No, SmackDown did not. I rewatched the actual SmackDown though, and we missed a lot without having the video prompter and not being able to hear what was on the screen.
Yeah.
I think they did some good things, not like great things, but we did miss some things.
Okay.
So I will say that, but it was definitely, what the hell?
Lackluster show, yeah.
It was a filler episode to the max.
Yeah.
All right, my talking point: Braun Breaker's spear to Carlito. He's got some great spears, but this one takes the cake, dude.
That might take the cake of all spears of all time.
Just the guy is a freak athlete, and then just to build on that, I'm really excited for this Fatal 4-Way match for the IC title at Mania. I know it's kind of pieced together a little bit, but there is story to it.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't even say it's pieced together. That I think it fully makes sense because
it 100%
Penta's
does.
been involved with every single person in this match since he debuted. Braun Breaker's been involved with every single person in this match over the last month now, and then obviously you have Dom and Finn.
Finn, yeah,
that
100%.
They've had animosity towards each other for a couple months now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it totally just all around makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
And I gotta say, Dom is on the precipice of a big face turn. I feel like it's coming, and well earned.
Yes.
Yes, he got early tag title shot with his dad and everything, and had that, but since then he's had to work his way up.
Yeah, and when he was doing that, he was very mediocre in the ring.
Oh yeah.
He's actually a good wrestler now.
Yeah.
Like, he has whoever the fuck or however many people it is that have taken him under their wing in the back and helped train him up. He's really good in the ring now.
Yeah.
And his character is fantastic. And I 100% agree.
I used to just cringe when he was on screen, but now I'm like excited to see what's coming, and the crowd is definitely coming around to it. So
I haven't heard him get booed in a long time.
Not like where you can't hear him speaking.
Yeah.
So I'm actually excited for it. It's fun to watch organic things grow where maybe yes, they're doing little things to edge us that way, but it really seems organic in this situation where it's not like force-fed thing. So really excited for the Fatal 4-Way. Excited to see what comes of Dom, and that fucking spear was insane.
That spear was... if he knew he was going to flip, I think he could have landed on his feet.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
Could you imagine hitting a spear... and the person hitting the spear does a front flip out of it, lands, and just keeps going into the ring.
Dude, that would be insane.
It would have been but he could have done it.
Yeah.
Like, I legitimately think if he would have known that he was going to rotate like that, if he would have just propelled himself into the rotation, he could have landed on his feet no problem, I think.
I hope they do.
It was insane.
I hope they do like a patastrator on it this Monday. And just kind of go through the details of it, just to show how far he jumped, and
it was so fucking wild. It was. I was literally watching that, and I just started to giggle.
Yeah,
like I was literally sitting there. I was like, and I couldn't stop. And Lindsay peeked her head out, and she was like, "What the fuck are you cackling at?" And then they showed the replay, and I was like, "Watch this." And he does it, and Lindsay was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "That's what I was making that noise at." I couldn't stop laughing because I've never seen that before. That was insane.
Yeah,
and I mean, like we still get those moments, but I feel like they're fewer and far in between to get moments in wrestling anymore where it's like, oh my God, we've never seen that.
Yeah.
That was one of those moments.
Oh, yeah.
And it was dope. It was sweet.
Yeah.
My next thing, Io Sky's drop kick to Rhea.
Is Rhea okay?
Holy fuck, dude. And oh my Lord. And like Rhea, thank God, Bianca told, you could tell, right? Like, God damn it. Bianca told Rhea, already. I know, Jesus. You could tell that Bianca like told Rhea when to brace for it, right? Because like on the slow motion replay, like before Io hits her, you can see Rhea start to do this, like start to brace for it back. Thank fucking God that they timed that right, because if she might have actually broke her fucking neck if she would not have braced for that.
I mean, I still feel like she broke her nose on Bianca's shoulder.
She fucking whiplashed so fucking hard. It was, but there was a still of that I absolutely loved, and it was of Adam Pearce, because it was like from, so like Io jumped from this side of the ring, right?
Okay.
It was from a camera that was like down at this point.
Yeah.
You know, maybe on this side of the turnbuckle, but out of the ring and angled up, and Io's in midair. Rhea and Bianca are yelling at each other, and Adam Pearce obviously sees Io in the sky, and Adam Pearce is just standing there like looking off like this. Like he was just like, God damn it. It was just fucking perfect because it's Adam Pearce. Yes. And we used to give him so much shit, but he like, it's all been for the point of what is happening, right?
Yeah,
it's not like
exactly.
That's actually who he is a terrible GM. That's just like how they've set up things to just like he has lost control of the chaos. And so it's just, and the fact that they keep playing into that, and then like when Michael Cole originally went to SmackDown before the Netflix thing, they were like, the commentators were ripping into
it too.
So it's all a part of the
I'm pretty sure Michael Cole
it,
said something along the lines, just typical fashion.
Oh yeah, something, right?
Like,
and so I love the whole thing, and I think they could have just made this triple threat match 3 or 4 weeks ago and we'd be in the same spot. I don't think them dragging the whole process out added anything or did anything for any of them. But we did get that fucking dope spot on Monday. So I'm like, okay. And I mean, the match is going to be good. Yeah. It's going to be a really good match. It's Io and Bianca and Rhea. It's going to be a great match. Yeah. What we wanted? Not necessarily. No, but it's going to be a good match.
It really is. And, I like the fiery Io Sky. Just like right after that, she rolls out of the ring and she's like flailing her arms, screaming, and she's at her peak when she's doing that.
And I'm happy that, because I was really nervous because she had the mic in her hand, that because it's, regardless of how this comes off, it takes you out of it when you can't understand the person giving a promo. Mm-hmm. It 100% takes you out of it. And so I think that the way they played that was the best possible way that they did that, was have her continue to kind of just get ignored and then her just be physical. Yeah. Because having her engage in a verbal battle between the three of them would not add anything.
Yeah, 100%.
So
agreed. Next talking point, Paul Heyman and Rollins closed the show. This, to me, it was a great promo and brawl until the end, where it kind of was just like when Seth says, "Now you owe me a favor," and that just kind of took me out. I was like, why does, I hope they don't lean in on that. Yeah. I hope it's just Seth talking, and as of right now, that's all it is. But if they like go on further with it, I'm going to be like, why would Paul owe you a favor just because you didn't stomp him in that moment? But the whole idea of Seth continuing to be this, like, trying to be a wedge between Paul and Punk, Paul and Roman, is great. Yeah. That's what he's good at. He's good at the mic and trying to just stir up shit. That's a strong point. And it further helps him blend into this triple threat match, I think, for sure. Yeah. Like I said, the only thing that took me out was the favor part, but the poking him, the slapping him, and getting physical with Paul, and then pulling out CM Punk out was really cool. Punk. I thought that was an awesome segment for them.
Yeah, I had that down also, and I kind of alluded to it when they were showing the video package when we were at SmackDown last night. But I liked that whole part up until the end as well. I didn't care for the way it ended, and I wrote that Seth's favor makes no sense, and I said that they're grasping at straws to make him relevant in the storyline right now. And while yes, I agree that like him trying to be that wedge between everybody is a piece of this, and to a point there's a little traction there. If they continue with this favor thing now, it's going to completely ruin it. And
I agree.
That's like we had this favor now for the last couple months between Punk and them, and we finally found out what it is. Like, we don't now need to fucking add this random thing to him all of a sudden, try to put Seth Rollins more higher up involved into this. Like, just fucking let him keep trying to be the wedge between everything.
Agreed.
So, and like you said, he doesn't owe him a favor.
No.
It literally doesn't make sense.
Zero sense.
Right? Like, especially because Paul moved out of the way anyways.
Yeah.
If he wouldn't have like seen Seth coming and Seth went up and stopped short and then Paul kind of just looked up at him, then maybe I could see like, oh yeah, now you owe me a favor because I could have just killed you and I didn't. But Paul fucking moved.
Yeah.
So it's like Paul rolled out of the way from the stomp anyways. Yeah. And so like that doesn't make sense.
I will say
I hated that.
I will say it was awesome to see Paul Heyman stick up for himself. Mm-hmm. We don't see that a lot.
Yeah.
And Angry Paul is a great Paul.
Yes.
So that was
absolutely
really cool. I really liked that part a lot. So. Mm-hmm.
It is going to be really interesting to see like what happens with Paul Heyman at WrestleMania.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the most intriguing part of it is what happens with Paul. And it's all because CM Punk's favor was a simple favor to put him in his corner. There's just so much story there. Yeah. That's probably the biggest intriguing part. And that might be the stakes. I know we were talking about last night. I wish there was stakes for this match, like a number one contender. But now that we're talking about it, I think there is stakes at,
do you think there's any chance that they actually like make this an official thing? Like Heyman is the prize?
Maybe.
Out of this?
Who knows? No, I don't think it needs it.
I don't think it needs it, but
I hope they don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the behind the scenes stakes is what happens with Paul.
Yeah. One of my talking points is literally just the fact that we were at SmackDown last night. It was in Seattle at Climate Pledge Arena. Mm-hmm. So as we've made it to pretty much every show that's been up in our area for since the end of 2024. Yeah. We made it to this one as well, and I think we were both had our sights set a little high, I think, for the impact that this episode would have towards WrestleMania and just the overall quality of the production and what live, and it just all around kind of seemed off, with the exception of there were 3 really solid matches. Mm-hmm. Last night. The main event tag match was it was a solid segment. Solid match that then led to the Jacob ending the show. Yeah. You had the gauntlet match, the tag team gauntlet match for the number one contendership, which was
so good.
Like the outcome of it was not what we wanted, because again, it's like, why do we just keep fucking randomly putting people together? And then especially there was like, at least not from our perspective in the stands, and I didn't watch it, you did, so maybe you can touch on this a little bit more or expand on it. But the final thing we got from Raw was Bayley like rejecting to shake hands and show respect to Lyra, which looked like slight seeds could have been planted towards like a heel turn from Bayley or something. And then all of a sudden they get put into this gauntlet match, and then they show up on Friday and there's no issues between them, at least not what we saw live.
Yeah,
no issues. They worked perfectly well together as a tag team, and then they ended up winning it. And it's just like, what the fuck was that about then at the end of that match on Monday? Like, what was the point of that? You know?
Yeah.
So
watching it back there, I didn't see anything that said, "Hey, we got some drama between us" or anything. So what you said happened. I agree with you though. Expectations were very high for this SmackDown because it's the penultimate episode before WrestleMania week. So I was like, all right, big stuff is gonna happen, and it definitely did not have that.
It was a lot of filler. It was a lot of just fluff.
Yeah, it was a very fluffy episode, and for that part, I will say I was disappointed. The audio quality was really bad.
Yeah, we couldn't hear it was, which was wild. Yeah, we couldn't hear like when they were on the microphones in the ring. It did get better towards the end of the show. Mm-hmm. But I mean, fuck, dude.
But I think that's because the crowd was being quieter during those parts because we couldn't hear.
Oh, maybe, yeah, true.
I was reading comments and it said it was a dead crowd, and I was like, we started off pretty hot, but as the night went along, I think we couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
So
that's on the WWE or Climate Pledge or that's got to be on the WWE. Like they're gonna come into an arena and set up their audio the way that they want it to be.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do really with and we saw fucking Raw at Climate Pledge, right? No, that was Angel of the Winds.
Yeah,
we saw SmackDown.
Yeah,
we saw SmackDown back in September at Climate Pledge,
and it was perfect.
It was a great show.
Yeah.
So it was just weird, and the fact that we didn't have the monitor screen set up above the ring,
where you can kind of see what's going on.
Yeah,
like
you
from different
see
perspectives,
more of the TV
side of things,
camera side of things. Yeah, it was just weird, and like none of like the big speakers on the ceiling, like right above us, there was nothing coming out of those.
Yeah,
and so the whole opening segment, like we didn't hear almost a single word that Nick Aldis said.
Yeah,
and then like we were able to hear some of what Orton said.
Yeah,
could barely hear Solo. It was just like, what the?
Yeah, there was a lot of parts watching it back. I was like, oh, I did not hear that last night and stuff. So
I mean, that was through the whole show though. Was just like poor audio in the building.
Yeah,
which is very disappointing.
And I thought, we did miss some, not like big parts, but definitely parts that brought more to what was going on, just because it didn't have that monitor and we couldn't hear things. So overall, wasn't great. It was still fun to go. It's always fun to go.
Yeah, it's always fun to be there live. We got to do Cody's, we got to do LA Knights, we got to do Orton's, all those entrances, and got to experience them all. And
and we got Cody Rhodes, right? So that was fun.
Yep.
I got to give a shout out to that guy that was dressed like the Fiend.
Yep.
In our row. Full on costume.
Full on. Had the mask, the hair, the pants, the shirt, everything. It was full out.
It was so cool.
And he had the eye paint on to, for under the mask and everything. It was good. It was a solid costume.
Yeah. All right, my next talking point, tag team mess. I'm really upset that we get New Day versus War Raiders at WrestleMania, and we don't have the SmackDown titles. And I'm sure there's something that can happen this upcoming SmackDown to change things. But as of right now, we got Raw tag team titles on Mania. I have no interest in this match. Like, all of New Day's heel momentum is gone.
Yep.
The War Raiders are just meh. Like, they're great, a great team, but we've already seen them face New Day last week.
And the tag team division on Raw is just pathetic.
It's so bleak.
Creative behind the tag, I should say. Creative behind the tag team division on Raw is pathetic. The teams themselves, like, they have potential. That's just there's nothing happening with them.
Yeah.
And so then to have the hyped fucking SmackDown tag division not represented at all in WrestleMania, and they're not going to be regardless of what happens, because there's only room for one more match really to get added to the card, and it's going to be Randy.
The Randy Orton match.
There's 7 on Saturday and only 6 on Sunday right now. So Orton's going to get added to Sunday.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I would be absolutely shocked if we go back to the early 2000s / late 90s where they end up doing more than that on a WrestleMania.
Yeah, especially in Triple H's era. He's been very consistent with the amount of matches put on shows. Like seeing
like WrestleMania does more.
Yeah,
just because. But yeah, most other PLEs it's five.
Yeah,
like even the bigger ones, it's 5.
Yeah,
like Royal Rumble was still just 5.
Yeah, Survivor Series was 5.
It wasn't. Royal Rumble wasn't even 5. One of them wasn't even 5 matches. It was 4 matches and a segment.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So having 7 on each is
it's just disappointing because we've been really high on the SmackDown tag team, and like, yeah, it's cool. It's on the Go Home show to Mania, but it's not on Mania.
And like part of me thinks that they probably did that because of the hype of the SmackDown tag team situation. That they can have that be on the Go Home show in Vegas and have it feel like a WrestleMania moment. Whereas if you did the War Raiders and New Day on this Monday or the Monday after, it's just not going, like, they kind of need that stage kind of in a way, I guess. You can kind of look at it that way. Like,
I think it's just
they need it more to be on WrestleMania than the SmackDown ones do because SmackDown's done such a good job of hyping their shit up. If that makes sense.
It just sucks because you got Street Profits who it took forever to get the titles back on them. They deserve a Mania moment. And then you got Motor City Machine Guns who are veterans.
20 fucking years to get to this company.
And they're not, I mean, as of now. And like you said, it's probably not going to happen because Randy is the next to be added. So, just very disappointed in that.
Yeah. This is my last thing because we've crossed over a couple things, but I just wanted to throw out the Rey Fenix and Berto match was the best match last night on SmackDown. I think hands down without question. Good. The match was amazing. Some of the fucking shit that they both can do, but Rey Fenix is another fucking specimen, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, we thought like Penta, I mean, obviously you've known because you watch AEW as well, but I haven't really seen a whole lot of them just because I don't watch AEW. And so like this is new to me, right? And like I thought Penta was fucking fantastic. Rey Fenix is in a whole other fucking stratosphere than I would argue like any lucha I've ever seen. Yeah. Like he makes Rey, he takes the cake.
Yeah.
Like he's insane, dude. That last 3 moves set sequence that we got last night was he fucking tightrope sprinted. He sprinted the half of the top rope to kick Berto off of it, and like it wasn't like he did
the Undertaker.
Yeah, the Undertaker. Old school. Like he didn't walk it and then take a couple quick steps. He started in the corner and sprinted across the fucking rope and kicked him off, and then did like the fucking double jump 360 springboard roundhouse kick. Yeah. Oh. And then hits his fucking the
Mexican muscle buster.
Yeah, it's fucking Christ, dude. And the Penta Driver and the Mexican Muscle Buster are both, they're like very similar moves, but they're so different at the same time.
Such cool moves.
They're fucking awesome. So, all around, the match was dope. It was awesome.
Can we talk about Berto's sell of the moonsault?
Oh, my Lord.
The moonsault was beautiful.
The moonsault
but then
was fantastic.
Him just hitting the feet and just floating like... It was so good.
It was straight up like The Rock getting hit with a stunner. Yeah. Like it was that type of like he hit and just dunk straight up. Or Austin Theory getting hit with a stunner, right? Just like, poof, and it just goes up and then just it was great.
It was so good.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Rey Fenix did like the corkscrew, like plancha over the top rope.
Oh, Lord. Just the amount of time, like how easy he makes jumping to the top, like jumping from the ring to the top rope, dropping to the middle rope, back to the top rope, and just that alone is fucking insane. Yeah. But then to add on the fucking like corkscrew 360 450 flip type fucking maneuver onto the end of it is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
really excited. I hope he just keeps going through Legado del Fantasma. Yeah. Just because Angel is another good wrestler. Santos is as well. So just keep this this going along. I really
and end this feud between them with Rey versus Santos Escobar.
Yeah, it's going to be a toasted ass match. So,
Yeah.
all right, my last thing is Cody Rhodes. I think
You said it wrong. Come on.
Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. That was fun. I was glad we got to do that last night. That was so much fun. But seeing all the titles out there, him on the mic, I think he's single-handedly kind of carrying this feud between him and John.
Well,
minus the last Raw, that was a nice back and forth.
Well, that's because we've only seen Cena 3 times since he turned heel.
True. But
we've seen Cody on almost every episode of TV. So
it was a fire-ass promo last night. Again, I think they've done a good job, especially Cody, taking our mind off of The Rock. Like, yes, I keep on going, where is he? Where does he fit into this? Is there something going behind the scenes?
Yeah.
But he's done a good job taking our eye off of that and just making it about Cena and him, which is a good thing, right?
Yep,
you know, and so if there is a Rock thing, it's going to come as a shock, sort of. But really, it's Cena, Cody, the two biggest stars in the business, minus Roman. I know that's controversial for you, maybe, but to the fans, he's huge. So you got two of the biggest faces facing off. That's the match itself right there, and there's some story behind it. So I thought Cody did a great job last night, and has been doing a good job, basically doing it on his own, minus a couple appearances from Cena. So yeah. It was cool to see all the titles. Get to chant Eddie last night. That was fun, and I love that title so much. The Undisputed Belt is so good. Love it.
I'm trying to picture. They're all blending to me right now. Which
it's
one's
like
Undisputed?
the skinnier one, not skinnier, but it's like it's not as big, and it got like the eagle on top a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Because the winged eagle had like the wings going up.
Yeah.
Right. But this is the one that still had the eagle.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah,
it looked more. It almost had more of like a tag title shape.
Yeah.
Like the old school tag titles too. Yeah. Because like all of those belts at that point were shaped similarly, just like how they are now.
Yeah.
You know, well, outside of the WWE. Women and men's, but the rest of the titles are, you know, the both world heavyweight titles, the IC, the US, the tag titles, like they're all kind of shaped, round, somewhat similar.
Yep, exactly. So it was cool to see that, and like I said, Cody's doing a great job doing this on his own.
It's quarterback.
Yep,
it's captain of the team.
Captain of the team, and he's proven it right now.
Absolutely.
That brings us over to our banger of the week. Ryan, what do you got?
We already talked about it, but it was Braun Breaker's spear on Carlito. There was nothing in wrestling this week that I think like made my jaw drop, made me have like a full blown physical reaction to what was going on. And again, like I said earlier, it's like there's not a ton of you don't get a ton of moments anymore where you get to be like, damn, I've never seen that before. Yeah. And that was one of the moments. So it was very close to me to put Rey Fenix and Berto here because the match was so good. But this was a singular moment that just stood above everything else that happened in wrestling for me this week. So it's just Braun Breaker just continues every fucking time he's getting TV time to prove that he should be getting more and more TV time.
Yeah.
So what about you?
I almost pulled a first for the Triple B podcast. I almost used the same one from last week. They did the promo or like the video package of what happened last week between Jay, Jimmy, and Gunther, and the way they put together that hype video for it was epic. Had chills from watching it, but then Jay gave his promo, and that's where I was like, nope, giving it to Jay. He was fire on the mic, and And again, rewatched it over and over again. It just carried that emotion.
Yeah.
I'm so ready for their match now. Like you said, that could have been the go home show to Mania, and I would have been fine with that. But we got one more week, so we'll see if it could get topped by that.
They gotta build.
We got a build. That brings us over to the belts question of the week. I asked this, so with it being the go home episode of the podcast, because this comes out Monday, it's the go home episode of WrestleMania. What is your favorite WrestleMania? And from that WrestleMania, what was your favorite match?
These questions are harder for me just because I don't, like, my brain doesn't work like that. I don't remember this, like, full fucking cards and stuff, and then when it was or anything. So I actually had to kind of do a little bit of digging into it to try to think of, like, all right, what were, like, try to think of one of my favorite WrestleMania matches.
Yeah,
you know, kind of started there, and then
That's
it was like,
idea.
all right, what WrestleMania was that? And then looked at the rest of the card and was kind of like, yay or nay type of thing, you know. And I think the one I settled on was WrestleMania 17.
That's a good one.
As my favorite WrestleMania. And I mean, you had no DQ against Rock and Stone Cold. You had Triple H and Taker.
Yep.
You had Angle and Benoit. You had the triple threat between Kane, Raven, and Big Show for the hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
You had Eddie and Test for the European.
Yeah.
You had which is what the second answer to this for me is going to be, and you already know what it is. But there are a handful. I think you had Jericho beating William Regal.
Yeah.
You had X Factor beating. I'm gonna fucking space on who it was. Hold on, I'm pulling it back up real quick just so.
You had Shane versus Vince.
Shane versus Vince was
gotta see the coast to coast.
And then there's one more bigger one that I was trying to remember.
There's like the gimmick battle royal with the legends.
That was it. Yeah, gimmick battle royal was really the other thing. And then you had China versus Ivory for the women's. You had
what was the was it Right to Censor? No.
No, Steve Blackman, Grandmaster Sexy.
Okay.
It was just in a tag match. And then the only other thing that we didn't mention was, which this is Right to Censor. This is what you were thinking of, was Taz and the APA.
Oh, okay.
Defeated Right to Censor.
That's right.
So, I mean, that was the whole card. Fucking 11 matches, 12 total, but the one of them was, I think, like the I think the X Factor Steve Blackman, because it says it was number 1H, so I'm assuming that was like the
on Sunday Night Heat.
Yeah, it was the early, you know, the pre-show match.
Yeah,
kind of like what they do now sometimes. But so 11 actual matches on this, you know, which was that's a ton of matches for a fucking match that, you know, a WrestleMania that took place fucking, I'm trying to think how long ago this was. 2001.
2001, yeah.
Yeah, so 24 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's pretty wild. My favorite match of this is the one that we haven't mentioned yet, actually outright, and it was the TLC ladder match. It was the second one. And it was, if I'm not mistaken, this was the one with the spear off the hanging.
Yeah, the spear. Yep.
And that is one of the number one moments in the history of wrestling for me, is that. I mean, just like what those six guys, Dudley Boys, Christian and Edge, the Hardy Boys, what they meant for not just tag team wrestling, but just wrestling in general at that point.
Yeah.
Is almost unmatched. And so yeah, it was just it was huge. And
you can't bring up WrestleMania highlights without bringing any highlights from that match, and that match alone just has so many highlights.
Oh my lord!
To it in itself, but yeah, that spear to hanging Jeff was incredible, and just Edge's sell. Well, I know he actually like nailed his head and like really bounced up, but it was just what an epic scene.
Yes.
All right.
What about you?
this was a tough like when I asked it, I thought I knew my answer, and then the more I thought about it, I was like, ooh, this is
Harder than
actually
you thought, yeah.
a really hard question. It was almost too quick for me to say WrestleMania 17, and then I was like, but WrestleMania 19, I was there, and it was in Seattle, and it had HBK, Chris Jericho, it had Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, it had Vince versus Hulk Hogan, it just had so many great matches. To this day, I would say that was probably one of the most well-rounded WrestleManias. But then I kept thinking on, and I was like, WrestleMania 39, which is...
Oh, that was when Cody lost.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought this WrestleMania had a lot at stake. It felt like there was lots of stakes. We had the Usos versus KO and Sami Zayn for the tag titles. We had the Roman Reigns long title reign, and thought for sure Cody was gonna win and didn't. And so I'm going with WrestleMania 39. And my favorite match was the tag team match, Usos versus KO and Zayn.
Absolutely.
Close runner-up to that, though, was the IC triple threat between Gunther, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus. They just pulled off a banger of a match.
Yeah.
But I also included, I was thinking, like, entrance-wise, too. I thought WrestleMania 39's entrance was awesome. It was in LA, and it felt grand. It felt huge, and so that was a big pulling moment for why I thought that was my favorite. So, WrestleMania 39.
I forgot one thing about mine that I wanted to point out as to another reason why it made it the number one. WrestleMania 17 was the WrestleMania debut of Paul Heyman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He was on announcing, right? Yep. I remember, that's a good one. Plus, WrestleMania 17 has one of the greatest hype video packages ever, my way.
Yes. Stone
Cold Rock. It doesn't get much better than that.
Yes. We've talked about that.
That brings us to
Blockbusters! Here we go. This one is Nona's. That's what it's called.
Yep.
It's very straight to the point. The synopsis for this is, in the film, after the loss of his mother, a man risks everything to honor her by opening an Italian restaurant with a group of local grandmothers as the chefs. The cast of this is Susan Sarandon, Vince Vaughn, and Linda Cardellini. The release date for this will be May 9th of this year, and it will be on Netflix. Trailer for it, I was hoping we were going to get a trailer for it so I could add it, because I had saw a little bit of information about it and just like some pictures and stuff, and I was like, oh, I want to see the trailer, but I didn't want to just add it to Fred. I wanted to actually like be able to have a full talking point about it. And then they did drop the trailer, and I watched it. I was like, oh my god, it looks fucking great. I'm excited for it. It's a Vince Vaughn movie, so I'm here for it already. You already look like you're getting some of that quirky comedy, and I don't know, but it also has like very emotional ties in there, and it has a almost, I don't know, kind of like The Bear esque type thing, where it's like somebody dies and they open this thing in honor of that person kind of idea. Yeah. And so that's I don't know. It just I thought it was interesting, and it's a little storyline wise, a little bit something different for Vince Vaughn too, I think, which is always exciting too. So, what do you think?
Agree. I think you hit all the points I was going to talk about, but I'm here for Susan Sarandon, Vince Vaughn, and Linda Cardellini. Yeah. I think just the three of those, and then you add in the rest of them, and just from the supporting cast, trailer, definitely see the comedic barbs left and right, and just quick little whips that he's so great at. And so, I love Vince Vaughn, so this is an easy yes. I'm gonna watch it, and
Well, you get like a very strong personalitied, these old Italian grandma ladies, right? And like, so you get that all mixed into, they're all button heads and doing shit in the kitchen because they're all the chefs. Like, it's gonna make for a good laugh, and I'm sure a lot of relatable type experiences and motion or moments throughout it. So,
absolutely agreed.
Next up, we have the movie I Don't Understand You. It's a dark comedy. The synopsis for this is: Dom and Cole, a couple on the verge of adopting a baby, embark on an Italian vacation. The perfect opportunity to reconnect before the new addition arrives. Everything is picture perfect, the epitome of a European baby moon when things begin to spiral out of control. Lost on the way to dinner, their car gets stuck in a ditch, leaving them stranded in rural nowhere. I can't say that word. During a torrential downpour. These two Americans, who are used to being catered to, are now in a foreign land with no cell service, zero comprehension of the Italian language, and as fear takes over, escalating turmoil that could explode at any moment. The synopsis really doesn't do this a whole lot of justice as the trailer does, so we're going to talk a little bit more detailed about what happens in the trailer, because the trailer is out, so there is no spoiler for that. But the cast, before we jump into that, the cast is Nick Kroll, famously from The League, but he's in a ton of other stuff. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's in
the voice in Big Mouth.
Yeah, the voice in Big Mouth. He voices, I forget which character it is, but in the Sausage Party movies.
Oh yeah,
he's on a couple episodes of Parks and Rec.
Yeah, that's
douche.
Right.
And he's also in New Girl. He's one of Nick's brothers in New Girl. So, anyways, Andrew Rannells, I think is how it's pronounced, and Amanda Seyfried. The release date will be June 6th of this year, and it will be going into theaters. Now, in this trailer, they end up on a slight accidental murder spree.
Yeah, the escalating turmoil part of this was an understatement.
Yeah, very much so an understatement. They end up at this place where they're going to dinner at or whatever, and it's just like in this old Italian lady's house.
Yeah.
And the power goes out. And they're all kind of up and moving around, and all of a sudden they bump into her and they knock her down a flight of stairs and kill her. And then they're trying to figure out what the hell to do, and then her son gets home and they hide her body, and then
right underneath the table
that they're sitting at. And he obviously, the trailer alludes to him finding something out, at least, if not fully figuring out that they killed his mom. And then he looks like he looks in the trailer like he's going to possibly attack one of them, and then the other one attacks him, and they kill him.
The funny part about that,
he just opened a bottle.
But he was
of
opening champagne, so I was like, was he? Because his tone.
He was, and then they say in the trailer too, he's like, he was gonna kill you. And then Nick Kroll's like, and then drink the bottle of champagne. I don't know. He's like, I don't know what was happening. And then later in the trailer, they end up hitting another lady and killing her with their car. And I loved this isn't what we're going to just start doing, right? Like, we don't want to do this anymore in LA. We don't want to just become who we are.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, yeah.
Fun, crazy trailer. This is going to be a fun movie.
It is going to be funny. And I'm excited because I don't feel like we have gotten some more, but I feel like most of them have gotten more to streaming. We have not gotten a lot of dark comedy, raunchy comedy type movies in theaters.
Yes.
Very much over the last 10, 15 years. So
yeah.
I'm excited about this.
Yeah. The same here. And I'm not even a huge Nick Kroll fan. His voice kind of just grades on you after a while, but
I think that's also part of his charm.
But yes, agreed.
Because that's the characters he plays where his voice comes in handy for that.
Yeah, absolutely. But
yeah.
Looks hilarious.
Yeah.
This one is going to be I want to go to the theaters and see.
Yes, for sure. Well, because again, that's one of the first comedies like this that we're getting in the theaters in a long time. So, yeah.
Comedy's on the back. It's on the rise again.
They're coming back, as they should.
Absolutely. All right, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. Synopsis: every choice, every mission has all led to this. Mission Impossible. Cast is Tom Cruise, Haley Atwell, Vanessa Kirby. Also going to be in Fantastic Four, right? Yep. And then a handful of other people. Release date for this is May 23rd, 2025. Comes out in theaters trailer looks great. All these movies have been incredible movies. It's been a fun journey to go along with Ethan, and this is the final one.
Yeah.
Or so supposedly.
They make you think.
The final reckoning is what it's called, but it's crazy just how they top one movie after another, and like I said,
the stunts and shit that they do. Because was it the last one? Was that the motorcycle
off
jump
the cliff?
stunt?
Yeah,
that was fucking wild. And watching like the filming of that, like it's actually Tom Cruise doing this, which is even more fucking insane, as he just keeps doing all these stunts in these movies as he just gets older and older. And then in the trailer for this one, the fucking airplane, fuck me. So
I think I read that they're adding stunts to the award shows, and I think they already like have this film is probably one of them gonna be in it. So. Yeah, it's crazy to see.
He probably would have won multiple Oscars at this point in his career for that category if it would have come up earlier.
No kidding. So I'm really excited for it. They're just fun action movies and kept me interested all along. So I'm here for the ride.
Yep, same. All right, finally we have Hallow Road. The synopsis for this is: two parents receive a distressing late-night call from their teenage daughter who has just accidentally hit a pedestrian. They jump in their car, racing to get there before anyone else stumbles across the scene. As they head deeper into the night, disturbing revelations threaten to tear the family apart as they soon realize they might not be the only ones driving down Hallow Road. The cast of this is Rosamund Pike and Matthew Rhys. The release date is, there wasn't an official release date yet that I had seen for it, but it just said this summer, so summer of 2025, and it will be out in theaters. It premiered at, I forget what festival, but it premiered at one of the festivals this last summer, I believe, with like 20 reviews. It already has like a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, damn.
The trailer for this looks fucking intense as all hell. Like I mean, this is going to be one again that I think you need to go see it in theaters when it comes out, and it is going to be like you're on the edge of your seat, getting ready to just fall off the edge of your seat, but the only thing keeping you on is your puckered butthole. You know what I mean? Because it just has that fucking type of vibe to it. At one point in the trailer, you hear the daughter over the phone, like very emotionally saying her face is changing. So it's like, what the fuck is happening here? Because she just hit and killed somebody. Yeah. But that happens, at least in the trailer, and they do a really good job of cutting and piecing these trailers together to put things out of actual order. So this totally could not be in this order, but in the trailer that happens after this other lady has shown up at the scene, and you hear them talking throughout the trailer. So it's just like, what's going on type of thing. And
it's just a cool idea of I was telling you when I was watching, just like kind of just sat jaw dropped, just like we talked about like anxiety inducing trailers, and this is kind of one of those ones, and it's just a simple premise. You're just listening to a phone call in this trailer. That's all starts in their bed, then they're in the car, but all we're listening to is a phone call. We don't even see the accident or anything, and don't know if we will in the movie, but just that alone is just crazy, and just to have me already sucked into it. So really excited for this one.
Yep, now you know why I added it.
Yep. Good last minute ad. That brings us to Fred, follow-up, rumors, and early development.
Yes, indeedly. So this movie is called Eddington. It has been, we've gotten some pictures from it. We got a synopsis. No release date quite yet though. But the synopsis for this and the cast, I think, is kind of what led me to be like, this is interesting. Says, I just started to choke. I don't even know on what. I just couldn't swallow for a second. I don't know what was happening. Says, believed to revolve around a small town sheriff in New Mexico with ambitious dreams. And it is also believed to be set during COVID, with the tagline for the movie being hindsight is 2020. So it's just kind of intriguing in to a point for just such a very simplistic current synopsis for it.
Yeah.
But the cast of this is like the primary point here for me, and because the cast is pretty wild.
Yeah.
You got Joaquin Phoenix, Pedro Pascal, Emma Stone, Austin Butler, and Luke Grimes, who, if you don't know who Luke Grimes is, he Yellowstone.
Yeah.
I believe he played Casey in Yellowstone. So, I mean, that's a pretty fucking solid. You got three Academy Award winners in Austin Butler, Emma Stone, and I believe Joaquin Phoenix. Oh, yeah, he won. Yeah, because he won for the Joker.
Yeah.
But I want to say he was at least nominated for a couple other roles before that.
I believe so.
Walk Hard, maybe. I can't remember, but
Walk the Line.
Yeah, that's right. Walk Hard was
Dewey
the spoof.
Cox.
Yeah, Walk Hard. You knew what I was saying.
Yep.
Don't know that Pedro Pascal is an Academy Award winner. Or nominations.
I'm not sure.
I'll have to fact check that to see. But just that cast in and of itself, just right there, is fucking phenomenal. So
Yeah.
I'm here for it, just right there. So I just thought it was worth throwing out and something to look forward to.
Yeah. And then like the whole COVID thing, I like the idea of bringing that into things just because we lived through that, right? And it's just
Exactly.
so like it's not fresh, but it's pretty fresh.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
a few years removed. So just I like there's been shows that
I mean, we're really only like 2 years removed from the aftermath of it all.
Yeah.
I mean, we were dealing with the ramifications of COVID. Like, we still are in certain aspects, but we were dealing with like the immediate ramifications of COVID all the way through 2023.
Oh, absolutely.
So-
And so just like starting to see it sprinkled into like TV shows, it's been really intriguing. And so that part of it I really like. And then, the cast for this alone, it just, Pedro Pascal, man, he's just everywhere right now. He is
up, man.
Happy Death Day 3. I put this down. It has been officially confirmed. Jessica Roth, the lead actress in that, and then Christopher Landon, the director, have confirmed this. It's been 6 years since the last one came out. Huge fan of these movies. It's Groundhog's Day meets slasher film, and they are just so much fun. It was just, it's not necessarily original idea because it is like Groundhog's Day, but in a slasher
I was
form.
gonna say, it's original in the horror film type idea, right? Like, it's a new play on.
They do a great job of blending comedy and the horror part of it throughout these movies. So really, really excited for this one. I knew they had ideas for the third one immediately, and it got put on the back burner for quite a while. Yeah. So it's just, I'm glad to see it's seen the light of day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm stoked for it. Welcome back to the Triple B Game Show. We haven't had a game on here in quite a while. It has been quite a few episodes since we've done a game, and I wanted to bring it back. Mm-hmm. I'm calling this Guess the Movie. Very original. It's a very unique title. But that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be guessing what the movie is, but this is the pizza edition.
Oh.
So I have 7 different slides. So there are 7 different movies.
Okay.
Each slide that you will get to see first has a zoomed in screenshot of something that has to do with pizza, if not pizza itself.
Okay.
From a movie scene.
Oh, God.
You got to try to guess what the movie scene is, or what the movie is.
Okay.
And I did say, yes, sequel numbers matter here.
Okay.
Okay. And I will give you the hint. I will give you this hint. 2 of the movies are the second movie in a franchise.
Oh, damn.
Okay. So
2
of them are the number 2. Okay.
All right.
We're just gonna do one at a time. Okay. You're gonna guess. Take a guess. I'll tell you yes or no, and then I'm gonna show you the answer, and then we'll just move on to the next one. Okay. For time's sake. All right.
Fair enough.
So and I did try to, at least for my perspective, tried to put them kind of easier to harder.
Okay.
As we go through it. Okay. So very first one.
Oh God.
Now, there's components to the pictures. It's not just the pizza itself that you got to kind of take into consideration to try to decipher.
All right. We got a half and half pizza here. We got pepperoni and then green peppers.
I will tell you that there's really only one of the movies, and this is not one of them, where what's on the pizza will be a helpful point to you.
This is just very zoomed in.
I would look more around the style of the oven.
Yeah, it looks old.
It's old, but also
futuristic. Back to the Future 2.
There you go. Back to the Future 2, yes. Because it was like when the fuck do you ever seen a pizza oven like that?
Yeah.
But that's all wavy, you know. So it like looks old with the buttons, but then like the actual look and style of it is a little more futuristic, right? So yes, that's from Back to the Future 2. All right, one for one.
This Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. 1
is not.
No?
Home Alone.
Oh! I was like certain on that one.
Home Alone.
1 for 2.
All right. Yes. 1 for 2. Moving on to number 3. You really got to look into the.
This is Dodgeball.
It is Dodgeball. Yes. Yep. I was gonna say you really got to look into the background here and look at the mustache.
The mustache.
All right. So 2 for 3. Number 4.
This is. We got a Pizza Hut box. Looks like female. Is this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2? No. Is it?
It is not a female. I will tell you that.
Shit.
Might actually help you.
Is it 3 Ninjas?
It is not. Wayne's World.
Oh, shit. Duh, that's so obvious now.
I know. I was like, oh, I thought this one was going to be. I really thought you were going to get it on this one.
I should have known.
All right. Number 5. I will tell you.
2 for 4.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is not on here.
Really?
Okay. It is not on here.
Okay.
I did not use that.
Damn it.
Okay. So,
2
number
for 4.
5. This is the one where what's on the pizza is going to be a little more helpful towards determining what it is.
Is this it's Mr. Deeds?
It is Mr. Deeds. Yeah, crazy eyes.
Yep.
Yeah, the French fries and the Oreos on the pizza.
I knew it was the Adam Sandler. I was just trying to find the name.
Yep. All right, so that puts you at 3 for 5. Number 6.
All right, we got lots of pizza boxes.
You're going to be pissed if you don't get this one.
Is this Home Alone 2?
It is not.
Oh, one more guess, and then you can ding me for being wrong.
This is the other one that is a sequel.
This is Spider-Man 2.
It is Spider-Man 2, yes. That's how I was like, you're going to be so mad if you don't get this one right. Yep, Spider-Man 2. Yes.
All right, 4 for 6.
4 for 6. This last one
tough
is going to be, it's easily the hardest one, I think.
Okay.
And it's a... yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. It's definitely the harder one. More of kind of a bonus if you're able to get this.
What do we got there? Is it like a camera to the left?
It is a phone.
Okay. Got a phone.
Size of it can kind of give you an idea of era.
Yeah, that's kind of... But the shirt throws me off. It looks old.
It is. It is older. It's a bigger phone.
Is it? Just gonna. I have no idea. The Breakfast Club.
It is not. Biodome.
I would not have gotten that.
Yep.
All right. So,
I was trying to not
4 for 7.
4 for 7. Yeah, I was trying to not give away the fact that it was a payphone, but I was like, it is a larger phone.
Yep.
I was trying to not give fully away what it was, but yeah, Biodome.
Even if you told me it was a payphone, I would not have guessed
That's
it.
why I was like, this one's easily the hardest one.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would get it. I don't even I was like, I don't know if you've seen this movie or not.
I've only seen bits and parts. So,
But all right.
That was fun. That was good.
Hand control back over to you, Sensei.
Thank you. That brings us to our special segment of the week, Toasted or Trash. This is the segment where we choose movies and or shows for each other to watch. Maybe we've seen them, maybe we haven't, but just I pick a title, he picks a title. And so for this week, I chose the movie The Invisible for you to watch. Came out in 2007. You gave me The Dead Zone, came out in 1983. And so Ryan, take me through your watch.
Yeah. Well, I guess first off, we'll do synopsis for it. So for The Invisible, the one you gave me, the synopsis is: after an attack leaves him in limbo, invisible to the living, but also near death, a teenager discovers the only person who might be able to help him is his assailant. It's weird because I feel like I totally remembered the movie. But I'm like 98% sure I'd never seen it before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure this was I'm going to call it a first time watch for me.
Yeah.
But there were so many elements to it where I was like, I feel like I have seen this, but I don't think I ever actually did. So I really liked it. Like I actually really liked the movie. I thought the idea of it was really unique. And like I've never seen anything necessarily that's, similar to that. I thought the cast was solid. It was very interesting to see some of those cast members then, comparing to them. Like I was like, why do I know her?
Yeah,
because I'm currently watching Daredevil.
Yeah,
and she's in the new Daredevil. And I was like, and him, I'm like, wow, well, he's super young, but I know him from he was in Shameless.
Yeah,
right. Like he's been in a handful of things.
Yeah,
and so it was just I was like, oh shit, okay, so. I really enjoyed the movie. I'm going to assume you did too, and I'm going to say that you thought it was toasted.
I did think it was toasted. Yeah. It's angsty teen meets ghost.
Yeah, exactly.
And I thought it was good. It's funny you say that, you remember parts of it, but think it's the first time. I know for a fact I saw this movie, but rewatching it again, I was like, have I watched this movie?
So it was like the opposite?
Yeah, it was the opposite. Because I was
like, I've never seen this, but feel like I have. You have seen this and feel like you've never seen it. That's funny.
There was so many things I didn't remember about the movie, but I went to the movie theaters with my mom to watch this movie. It was an easy day one buy on DVD at the time. And so, really enjoyed this movie. I looked at the reviews for it. Critics and fans were not a good fan of this movie, but but I really enjoyed it. I, like you, think it was a nice original idea and very cool movie.
Yeah.
All right, you gave me The Dead Zone.
I did.
Synopsis is: a man awakens from a coma to discover that he has psychic abilities to foresee future events.
What'd you think of it?
This movie, it was a little slow for me. At first I was like, oh, is this kind of like Final Destination, the way they were on a roller coaster at the beginning? I was like, oh, is he going to start seeing things? And this was like before Final Destination. But it had a lot of people that actors that I've known, Christopher Walken. It had the sheriff. I don't remember the actor's name, but he...
Tom Skerritt. I think it's Tom Skerritt.
But he was in Top Gun,
Alien.
Yeah, exactly. He's been in so many things and kind of plays the same character, just the mustache man.
Yep.
And then he even had Martin Sheen in this as well. I liked the idea of it, and some of it was good. There was it didn't hold me throughout the whole movie. So I'm gonna say I thought it was trash. I'm leaning more towards trash, and saying you thought it was trash.
I'm more down the middle.
Okay.
I don't know that I would actually lean towards trash because I do think for what it was at its time in 1983, I think it was pretty solid.
Yeah.
I think comparative to what we have now, obviously, I think it's easy for us to just kind of immediately say or lean towards the trash side. But if you think like for what it was when it came out and the idea of what it is and how that all works and just the powers behind it, I thought it was that's what kept me from going that way, just because it is a lot harder now for us to watch movies that came out in the 80s and not be judgmental.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a very fair thing. And I actually said to myself, all right, try to imagine if you watched it like in the 90s. Would you be feeling the same? And I do agree. I still agreed with myself. If they leaned in more to the serial killer part of the movie and like made that the end, like the ending to it, I think I would have enjoyed that more. Like it's just killings continuing and he's like getting closer and closer with his abilities and working with. I thought that would be a cooler idea, but no, I agree with you though. Like
there were definitely the elements of the story within this were definitely jumpy around. Like, jumped around a lot. Not necessarily jumped around a lot, but it was very choppy. Yeah. It went from just like this to boom, this. And now this is over. Now we're moving on to this. And so I agree with you. It definitely in that regard. I thought that this movie specifically, and they did do a TV show based off. So this is based off a Stephen King book called The Dead Zone, right? Yeah. And it's then they did a TV show with Anthony Michael Hall as that Johnny character. That ran from like 2002 to 2007. I never watched the show. I don't really know anything about the show. I was just thinking while watching the movie and knowing that it's a Stephen King book, I was like, I think that would be a really cool concept for them to come back around to now that we're 42 years removed from this movie coming out and 20 years removed from the TV, almost 20 full years removed from the TV show finishing. Yeah. Right. That they could come back around and do either a new movie franchise with this or a TV show or something. I think they could totally do something really, really cool with it, make it more up to date and modern.
I did think that while watching it, I was like, oh, the way it was like it was choppy, like you said, it made sense. Like it could be an episode for each scenario kind of thing. Yeah. So
and they, I mean, you could then just add to it
way more. Yeah, exactly.
You know, almost like a Blacklist idea where it's like each episode's like a new thing and it's him using his powers, you know, like you could totally get away with that and make it potentially a really cool fucking
before that
current show.
Time and period, I like the idea of it for sure. Yeah. It just didn't hit home for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I 100% agree.
That brings us to Blockbusters question of the week. I also asked this, and just because we're in that WrestleMania theme, absolutely. I just kept the theme going. What is your favorite movie that has a wrestler in it? Is there a wrestler you'd like to see in a movie? And what like genre would you want them to be in?
Gotcha. For the first part of the question, I had two. I couldn't fully boil it down to one because they're very different types of movies. But I think one that is just all-time classic is The Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah.
With Andre the Giant.
Yep.
Right. It's just an all-time classic movie. It's a great film. Andre the Giant in it was fantastic as well.
Yeah, he really was.
So, and you know, it's very quotable moments within that movie and everything as well. The other one that I had completely changes genre, more to the dramatic, emotional role, and it might not be one that you would have expected me to pull out, but it's The Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf, and Dakota Johnson, Mick Foley, Jake the Snake. Yeah. It was that, and I've talked about that on here before as well. But that movie was one of the last movies that I watched that like really pulled at my heartstrings, and was because it's just so relatable as a wrestling fan. Yeah. Right. And then again, like I'm just a teacher. I work with a lot of kids with special needs. And so it was just like all of these things. And also just like seeing Shia LaBeouf that we've talked about on here multiple times too, where it's like you kind of on his own little bit of a personal redemption path from really going off the rails for a little while. And he's made some of these really good indie movies
Yeah.
over the last few years, and that was one of them. And it was I love that movie, and I think that the wrestler in it is a very small portion of that movie, but the whole movie was based on the kid wanting to loving wrestling, wanting to be a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then it had those two in it. So I think it was very well, right in the right vein for this.
Yeah.
What about you for the first part?
For the first part, I got 3 movies because one's just like too on the nose. It's Ready to Rumble. It's just a movie full of wrestlers.
I almost picked that, but I was like, that's like you said, it's too on the nose.
It's just too on the nose. So then
But it was one of the first movies that I watched with a wrestler in it that I recognized that as what it was.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Rocky 3 might have been the first one that I watched with a wrestler in it where I knew who the wrestler was. But Ready to Rumble was a completely different thing.
If we're just talking a brief cameo, Spider-Man would be the next one.
Macho Man.
But one where a wrestler was very prominent in it, I put Guardians of the Galaxy with Batista. I thought that movie was great. It was a great entry to the MCU. Definitely had low expectations going into the movie, and it just ended up being a fun trilogy, and really enjoyed those movies. So, but specifically Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Another Batista movie that's I think it's somewhat underrated, but Knock at the Cabin.
Oh, I haven't watched. I read the book in anticipation to watch it, and I just haven't watched it yet.
It was a good movie because it got him. It has Rupert Grint, Ron Weasley. I forget the other cast members in that movie, but it's a good movie.
Dave Bautista did it right. Of all the wrestlers who gone to acting, I think Dave is probably one of the best.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
So. Yeah.
All right, second part of this. What wrestler would you like to see in a movie, and what genre would you like to see them in?
I'm coming up with this off the top of my head because I didn't write this one down because I was having a hard time with it, and I was like, it's just gonna come to me in the moment. I'm gonna go with more on the side of who I think would shine behind the camera like that in a movie, and so that's the reason I think I would pick them to be the person. And in the genre, I'm gonna go comedy.
Okay.
Like a buddy cop comedy.
Okay.
And I'm going LA Knight.
Oh, yeah. He's, definitely fits that.
Part of me wanted to pick Cody Rhodes, but I already know he's going to be in Naked Gun. He's already in some stuff, and he's going to go to Hollywood eventually. I think he has said that's he sees himself being the next one to make that jump. So that's why I was like, I'm not going to pick Cody because I think that one might be the easiest answer, honestly. Yeah. But I that's why I went LA Knight.
Gotcha.
What about you?
I went with Damian Priest in a vampire movie. It's almost on the nail with it. He could easily fit into the Blade trilogy, any of those movies. And
seriously,
so
for sure,
some kind of vampire movie. Damian Priest, he got the charisma to be
next
in
up.
A movie.
You're gonna say Drew McIntyre in a remake of Braveheart.
No. But I was thinking of him. The other one I was thinking of was Seth Rollins in a superhero genre. He was almost in Brave New World. Yeah. I think he was supposed to be Sidewinder from what I read.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But some reason that got nixed. So, yeah. It's almost WrestleMania season, my friend.
It is WrestleMania season. It is WrestleMania season.
Almost WrestleMania.
Yeah. The next episode we will be recording right before we watch the show.
Hell yeah, man.
Night 1.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, man. To another great drink.